how the policies are made for the school and stuff.
Sometimes we boss Jesse around and he has to think that he doesn't want to do it. Right? Mr. Holt, sorry, Mr. Holt. Yeah, Mr.
I'm Philly Damon, and I'm also a junior. I'm also in American government, and I would like to know, like, kind of what goes behind our school and all that, how it runs.
My name's Sam Jones. I am in American government as well. I'm a senior, and I want to just, learn about the whole knowledge about the school and what's going behind it, and I just want to learn about, everyone's different routes, and because this is cool how everyone's connected here. I don't know if it's a little intimidating.
Okay, and who's your voice side teacher?
Same teacher. American story. Oh yeah, same teacher.
Great, Mr. Yeah.
Mr. Hines.
Okay, and Sam, why are you a senior?
Well, I could have taken it last year, but I took it this year.
Right. Learning is not a race. Learning is not a race.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for it last year.
Understanding is cumulative. Got it. Are there any other students back there?
And there are a couple chairs up here, you guys, if you want to come sit.
Yeah. And any more students?
And I'll
standing
switch with anyone.
On the stairs, do we have any more students? Okay, we're ready. Okay, we're going live. We're going live. Okay. My name is Jody, and I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6:10. Would you all please stand, face the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Rice-Credit.
Here.
Dr. Hill.
Here.
Mr. Hoff.
Here.
Mr. Lumber. Here. Mrs. Pascal. Here. Dr. Rhodes. Here. And Mr. Smith.
Okay, next we're on to comments. We don't have any written messages, that's to the board, but we do have some public comments. We have 2 of those. A reminder is it's a 3-minute time limit, and I'm setting it up ready to go.
We want to do.
Though, okay, yeah, yes we do.
Sorry.
No, okay, here's what happens at school board meetings. Robert's Rules of Order kind of gets me a little, I get all fired up when I move too fast. Okay, so let's have board member comments first, before public comments. Thank you. Does anyone on the board have a comment?
I do. I just want to thank our principals and staff and teachers and everyone for getting through the next 6 days of school, plus all the other stuff you're doing. Thank you. Thanks, God. That's it.
I have a comment. I too want to thank all the staff and teachers and principals and everybody for their hard work this semester. And yeah, good luck getting through the next 6 days, 7 days, as Shipman said. I also need to unfortunately announce that I'm going to be resigning from the board effective December 31st. It's been a great privilege and honor to serve in this role. But as a lot of you know, I've taken a job at Leadville, and I'm now spending a lot more time up there, even though my home is still here. So it's just becoming a resource issue for me and sort of a fairness thing to the community that somebody should be more connected. I'm still pretty connected here, but certainly getting a little more tenuous as the weeks roll on. It's been a privilege and an honor to serve in this role. I've really enjoyed working with my fellow board members. We've had an extraordinary board, I think. We have extraordinary staff, we have extraordinary students, families. It's just a great community all around. Everyone should be proud to be a part of this organization. And I especially want to give some credit to Dr. Blackburn, who I don't think ever gets enough public credit for the phenomenal job he has done over the last decade, 10 years, 12 years running this district. And you know, there's a reason why we've been so high performing for so long, and one of the biggest ones is Dr. Blackburn, and he's really been visionary, You know, we go to these CASB conferences, which are coming up next week, and you look around at other, you know, superintendents, and we get to know some, and you realize what a special superintendent we have in Dr. Blocker, and so I especially wanted to thank you, David.
Well, I didn't have any comments, but now that you've made that announcement, I want to thank you for the last few years. Like, pretty much you came on the board right after I did. So I feel like all of our learning curve kind of happened together, and there were some pretty big challenges right when you came on. And I just really appreciated your knowledge. I've appreciated your friendship. I've appreciated your legal expertise. And I think it's going to be a big loss for the board to fill that role. Like, I think you've provided like some really niche expertise for us. So yeah, so thank you. And you will be very missed on a professional and personal level.
And I will miss this role, both personal and professional, yes.
Well, and I have 3 comments. Can I do that? Yes, you may. First, Matt, so his role kind of on this board, we all have kind of little specialties, but he was kind of our attorney section. Not that he was an attorney for the school board, but we could refer to him on questions, and you had so many pertinent, good questions yourself. It made me really think often like, oh, good point, you know, so thank you for that. You will be missed. And hopefully you'll come back and we'll see you, or we'll see you in Leadville. So thank you for all your hard work. Second, I love that the students are here. I wish you didn't have to get extra credit to be here, but I understand, you know, you're busy, but I think you should just get the word out that this is so much fun to come and do this. And I've always thought it's important to have students here. So thank you so much for being here. I think you should get double extra credit. And third, I just want to give the heads up to the board that I will be presenting in February my passion and my just a presentation of how strongly I feel about the DI, Destination Imagination, if anybody's familiar with that, should be part of our activities programs. You know, like a paid coach, and because it's been on in conversation for many years, and we have given them some support, but I'm going to push it one step further, or ask that we look into that a little bit further. And you know, even Marco was saying we have a need for more activities. You know, some of it might be sports, yes, but Destination Imagination, if you're not familiar with it, covers so many different aspects. You know, engineering and acting and music, and it just has a lot of that in it. So be prepared in February. I will have more information, and maybe if any of your constituents have any insight or that you would like to bring to the table at that point, that would be a good time to share, either yay or nay or whatever, so we can kind of have a good picture of what our community is looking for. Awesome. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Matt for his time on the board. Of course, it was a lot longer than I've been on, but I've appreciated you know, your professional manner, your patience, your friendship, your professional level of you know, interpreting the law and giving us heads up on those things. And just personally, I'm definitely gonna miss you. I think you're gonna leave us a void. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
I have 2 things. The void you're going to leave is compassion and caring, because that's how you approached even the most niggling of topics. It was out of love and caring for first our students, second our staff, and the community. And that's going to be tough to fill. My second comment is to thank Mr. Hull and Mrs. Kraft. I have some high expectations for Salida High School, and I have since you guys were in grade school. And they are really helping me understand a scope and a sequence that I didn't understand before. And I'm fired up and just humbled by the progress that you guys have made and the opportunities that these young, amazing people have. So thank both of you for that. Okay, I think everybody has. Tiffany, do you have any comments? You don't have to.
Sure. Well, not everybody was here at our last board meeting. I did make a statement about my whys for running. So I'll just quickly summarize that. I'm really happy to be here on the school board as the newest member, and this is my first official meeting. And one of the reasons why I ran was because I have 4 generations of teachers in my family. My mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother were all teachers. And so when I started thinking of a way to kind of bounce back from some of the things that happened last year and have some resilience, doing something to give back to the teachers and staff in the community that really showed my son and I a lot of love through everything that happened, supporting teachers and carrying on that legacy of my family, the women in my family, was something that came to mind. So that is one of the main reasons why I wanted to be on the school board, and I'm really happy to be here and work for keeping this a great school district, which it has been thanks to the great board that we've had in the past and hopefully continue to have. So thank you guys for having me.
All right, the next item on the agenda is public comments, and I have 3 cards. The purple card indicates that you want to make a comment. If you didn't fill out a purple card, you can go back by step in it and you can get your card and give it to me if you didn't know that rule. So first up is Courtney Landry from Salida Montessori Charter School.
Hi.
Oh, and you have 3 minutes, go.
Great. I'm Courtney Landry. I work at Salida Montessori Charter School, as you just heard. I just wanted to come and invite everybody to our open house. We just got our keys to our brand new building last week. It was crazy fast. We broke ground November 11th last year, and we did our punch walkthrough on November 12th of this year, so it was pretty fast. But it's a beautiful space, and we're just really thankful to be in a community that values education, and we're really thankful for all of you and for all of your support, and just wanted to, so it's January 9th from 1 to 3 o'clock, and it's 1108 J Street, so come see us.
Will you send us an email with the?
Yeah, that would be good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks.
All right, you're still standing, Court. Nice work. Hey, our next public comments. I'm gonna guess. Staff appreciation?
Do the next one.
Okay, do the next one. Okay. All right, our reading policies from Rosalind.
Hello everybody, my name is Rosalind. I'm the library person at the Salida Middle School, and I just wanted to let you know, with the reading policies being up for discussion, I'm available to any and all of you at work, outside of work, to discuss any questions you may have. I am a resource. I have past policies you may wish to look at. I can show you where I look at the Colorado education policies that I follow specifically for libraries. I know things, and I'm here for you. And let me know if you'd like to talk at any point whatsoever. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rosalind. Thank you for being an epic library. Epic. But we don't like to cannibalize from our city, but we did take you from the main library. Thank you. Thanks for coming over to our side. And then, okay, Evelyn Hart.
Now it's me. Okay. So staff appreciation, Tiffany, if you know, I am staff appreciation. I try to take care of as about many people as I possibly can. This is December, so this is Christmas, so I always bring something for you. Next month, and you're gonna miss a really good one. Next month is School Board Appreciation Month, and that's when I provide you dinner, and I'll bring you some gifts, which I have some really awesome gifts, and now you're not gonna be here. Because I picked them out, they're beautiful, and now you're gonna miss them. But anyway, so Christmas, I did little stockings. No, you don't get one. I should give him some coal. Actually, I'm really happy with Jesse because he is going to come and help be a driver.
I read that.
Wait from the order for the
Yes.
Is one good foot.
All you need is one good foot. He will not be driving the standard, he'll be driving an automatic. But anyway, yes. So we have. No, you're fine, honey, I got it. I'm used to walking around stuff. I got yours in here somewhere, Karen.
Really good one.
Oh, yep, there it is. You're welcome. So yeah, I put these
Actually, she's
together.
craving some sugar, so this is.
I got more sugar for you.
I'll share you for later.
Yes, so we have Jody.
I'm just highlighting my gift from 2 years ago. Board appreciation.
And there, at least you get a Christmas
At least
present.
it gets us.
Okay, but I do have extra chocolates for y'all. Apparently she needs them. Okay, we'll go this way.
Always. So students, I'd also like to add that Evelyn is our transportation director, so all of the buses for your activities and getting our students into the buildings.
Yes.
And then she's also a trustee for Poncha Springs for that town.
I am.
Yeah, right, so high sense of service, so if you have any questions about Poncha, you've got a trustee.
I'm also CSBCA.
Oh, right, she also does this, commercial driver's license training and testing, and maybe parallel park one of the littler buses one time, certified. And, she also is a state and now regional leader in our bus safety, transportation.
If anybody wants a CDL, come see me, you've already got yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Any comments? Let's see. Excuse me? Absolutely.
Next board meeting in January, we'll have the traditional Salida High School student panel, where we'll hopefully have between 20 and 30 students here for board members to pick their brains about what the high school's doing well and what we need to grow. So, looking forward to that next semester.
Maybe Mr. Hines will offer some extra credit, I don't know. It's the end of the year, we could use that. Thank you, Jesse. Now we just have to do a little bit of Robert's Rules of Order, and I need a motion to approve the agenda with the following changes. Table item 4A, discussion of Destination Imagination, until February. May I have a motion?
All motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
And this first is from Karen, second is from Jen. Any discussion? Fired up for February, that's all I'm gonna say.
Alright, ready for a vote on the agenda? Dr. Breckenridge-Pettit.
Aye.
Dr. Hill.
Aye.
Mr. Hobbs.
Aye.
Mrs. Lundberg. Aye. Mrs. Haskell. Aye. Dr. Rhodes. Aye. Ms. Strickland.
Aye. Now we have some reports and some presentations. Our first one is from our accounting company.
Yeah.
It's time for you.
Thank you.
This is where it all happens, guys.
You know, it doesn't get much more exciting than this. So and I'm gonna roll into it a little bit with the students in mind. But every local government in Colorado is required to have their finances audited. If they're above a certain dollar threshold, there's at last count that I remember, 178 school districts, I think that's right, and many, many more fire districts, water districts, sanitation districts, you know, that sort of thing. So they all have auditors come and look at their books and report on their findings. For your district here, we audited your financial statements, also your compliance with federal grants. So that's part of it as well. And as a little plug for students that are going on to college and that sort of thing, the accounting field is always looking for new young accountants. Governmental accounting is an amazing niche because not a lot of people do it. Same thing, I've worked with a lot of water attorneys, that sort of thing. If you're legal minded, water law is absolutely an insane specialty as well. So lots of good stuff out there. But our team was on site for the audit in late August this year. We began by testing and walking through internal controls, then based our procedures on the results of those tests. The finance staff, as usual, was prepared. The audit went very smoothly again. The overall financial condition of the district is strong, and the financial statements are presented fairly in all material respects. So as we have in past years, we issued an unmodified or clean opinion. within your financial statements, you know, you've got the blue books, bound books in front of you there. There's two presentations in there. There's the government-wide financial statements and the fund financial statements. So the fund statements reflect how the district keeps its books on a day-to-day basis. Reports you receive from finance are based on that fund presentation. Then the government-wide statements roll all roll all the funds together into a single presentation, but also bring in such things as capital assets, long-term debt, and other long-term liabilities that are not included in the funds. So the first statement I'm going to hit a few highlights on is the statement of net position. That is essentially that's a government-wide statement, essentially the balance sheet for the entire district. Cash and investments for the year, we're up about $3.1 million with increases to the general fund balance, and capital projects. Capital assets, we're up $937,000 as capital outlays, capital purchases exceeded depreciation for the year. Liabilities, long-term liabilities stood at $47.6 million at year end. Of that, para liabilities totaled $27.7 million, which was a decrease of about $5.6 million. This represents the district's proportionate share of para's unfunded liability. Now that unfunded liability, we talked about this in the past, is a current year calculation of para's your contributions to para. Payment of para liabilities is limited to the district's state contributions required each year. So you're not, it's basically based on how much you pay in each year. So it's an unusual calculation. It's a rather large number that is new as of about a dozen years ago, but included in your government-wide statements. Long-term liabilities are also part of your total liabilities, total long-term liabilities. They stood at $18.6 million at the end of the year. $2.9 million in certificates of participation were added this year. Otherwise, debt service was paid according to debt service schedules. This year, all local governments were required to adopt GASB 101, which is related to compensated absence accounting. So basically, but for most organizations, that increased your liability as you have to start accounting for sick leave, which often was not included in your long-term liability if it wasn't payable. But now they've changed the definition, so anything that is likely to be paid at some point, even if it's not paid at separation, is now part of your liability. And I think that increased your liabilities in your prior year fund balance, or decreased it, pardon me, by about $500,000 or thereabouts. Okay. Net position or ending equity in the government-wide statements increased about $1.9 million. Much of that was related to para pension liability accruals. As you accrue those over, when there's changes from one year to the next, you accrue those over about 5 years or so. Moving on to the general fund. In the schedule I provided you, or the summary of my presentation, we show a ratio of your unassigned fund balance to expenditures. And this indicates that your unassigned fund balance would cover about 52 days worth of expenditures for the year. Really a strong position for you all to be in, because again, we're basing that ratio on unassigned fund balance. So that means everything else, from restrictions to other commitments, have been covered already. Okay? And that's about just shy of 15% of expenditures. Looking at a few funds specifically, General fund, of course, is your main operating fund. Fund balance was up $738,000. It was budgeted to go down about $652,000. Revenues were up about 8.3%, which mainly included increases in property tax revenues and state equalization. Expenditures were up about 6.9%. Federal grant activity, very similar to last year. I think it was about a $50,000 difference, which in those kind of dollars is pretty small. Capital projects fund balance was up $1.8 million, with $2.9 million spent on capital projects for the year. Internal controls, we had no findings this year. Last year we had a relatively small finding, actually had no impact on equity, the finding we had last year, but that was corrected very quickly. Again, no findings at all this year. Also a big component of our audit is the federal grants compliance audit, as I was talking about. That has been, so this year your financial statements look a little bit different, or the booklet that you received, because the federal grants are not included in that yet. That's going to be a separate presentation. So usually the guidance that we are required to follow, and we're required to follow this year's guidance, even though it didn't change at all. Usually that is released in May. This year it was released a week ago. So with various slowdowns with the government, we know about the shutdown, but then things were slow rolling out before that. So we'll be issuing a standalone report with any luck by the end of this month, but if not, pretty early in January. But we had no compliance findings. Again, we looked at Head Start. I think we've looked at Head Start every year because that's your main program. In past years, we did look at ESSER funding when it was new grant dollars as well. But no concerns there, no compliance findings, no issues of internal control over grants. So again, great work, good job, Sheila. Went very, very well. But really want to express our appreciation to your finance staff, to Aaron, to everybody here that prepares for the audit. And when we send this laundry list of things that we need to audit, it's there and ready for us when we get here, so we can hit the ground running and get it done. And it's always a clear indication of what kind of shape the district is in and the finance department is in when all that stuff can be provided, and we're just asking clarifying questions as we go. So another good audit. Nice work everybody. Thank you, Aaron. But I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
You said we have essentially 22 days in reserve after?
50. Yep.
52.
Yep. I think it was 52.
Great, thanks, Commissioner.
Yeah, that's all right.
Do you think that's a good number or too many days?
I wouldn't say it's too many, but it's a strong number. I think you were just shy of 15%. One of the budgeting requirements is that you don't budget for more than 15% of unsigned fund balance. So you're right at that number, which means you're in good shape. Could it be spent? Depends on if you have anything worth spending it on, of course. No.
Wanted to highlight, since our union president is here, Mr. Lamont from Salida Middle School, when the government shut down, I freaked out. And so I came to Aaron and I came to David and I'm like, what happens if we don't get our Head Start funding? And he was able to explain to us that we would keep those doors open. We would be able to pay for the incredible staff that's there. Is Teresa here somewhere? Yeah. There she is, yeah. So, and because we have that healthy appropriation, which is really great. Anybody else? I wanted to fill in a couple of acronyms for our high school guests today. PARA is pension for our retired teachers and staff. So our teachers and staff do get a pension. I also wanted to ask you, Tom, what percent of all the school districts that you, or let's just throw out all those public entities, what percent do you think get a clean audit?
Well, most of them get a clean opinion, alright, which is different from there being other issues as well. So you can, and sometimes that clean opinion happens because we helped you get there.
Get to the clean.
Right? I mean, we're independent, but having a not clean opinion means you're refusing to make corrections we think you should make, right? But other things that go along with that is you can have, a district could have a lot of internal control comments where they're not following appropriate, they don't have appropriate policies over cash management, over how they use their grants, over various things, where, so clean audit and then a dozen findings not so good.
We're kind of teachers pet.
You're right there. We've got a
yeah.
couple favorites, but you guys are in good shape preparation wise. You're in great shape finance wise. You're neither have massive reserves that you're not spending, right? Or and you're not starving either.
Right. So I want to highlight some executives that need to be thanked for this. Those are our principals. So Teresa, right back there, from Early Childhood Center. Corey, right there. I've got middle school is Michelle. I've got Alt back there with service, and I've got high school with you. But also grants with Sheila, and budget and business manager Aaron, and then of course you don't make it easier because you get so many grants and go after nickels and dimes. So highlight to all of you guys for doing such a great job, for sure. I do have a big question.
Sure.
And it's got multiple colors. So our long-term debt is 18.6 million. Right, and that's the bonds. We have a best grant, which Courtney, Miss Landry over there with the Montessori school, got a best grant. The state helps us build our buildings. We have Salida High, and then we have Longfellow, and then we have our 2 COPs for this building. They finish off in 30, 33, and 34. Is that too much debt for a district our size? Is that the right amount? How do we assess that? Those are for facilities.
Right.
I'm just limiting it for that. I worry. So how do you see that?
Sure. Well, I mean, I think you look at the reserves as well and see that you're not, from year to year, you're not eating into those reserves to pay your debt service.
Okay.
This is also mostly non-bonded debt, right? I mean, you have some go bond, but like the COPs are all based on current operations, so that you have the attorneys and the really smart numbers guys looking at that and saying, hey, you as a district, based on your student population and what you're getting in for per pupil revenues, you've got the wherewithal to cover it.
You're not sweating. You're not losing sleep.
I'm not.
Okay, and you've been our accountant or our auditor for a long time, so you just get a little swag.
All right.
Purple down when you put that sticker on your water bottle. Go Spartans, and then
Nice.
a tattoo.
All right. Tattoo. All right, I'm not telling you where that's going.
It's probably bad. Those accountants. Okay. Any other discussion? Any other questions or comments? Okay, it is an exciting field. You guys should consider it. All right. Next.
I know they're laughing. They don't believe. Come on.
Tom, can you raise your right hand for me? Just raise your right hand. Look, he's an accountant, and he went to Mount Princeton Hot Springs today.
That's right.
That's what an accountant is today.
This job is in demand.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you all
and
very
thanks
much.
for the guidance.
Thank you,
Thanks
Tom.
for the staff's
Thank
hard
you.
work. All right, and then we have every month we have a
Thanks, Sheila.
specific. Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Tom.
Take care.
We'll talk
Can't
to you
leave
soon.
yet. You don't get full credit. Okay, this one is going to be really interesting for our high schoolers. Corey, you're up next for your detailed report for Longfellow Elementary.
Did you all raise your hand if you went to Longfellow?
Okay, that's right.
Okay, so
4.
So she's working on the tech end.
Okay,
All that.
I think I've got it. Okay, I think we're good.
Beautiful. You guys welcome everybody. Tough act to follow, coming on the heels of the accountants. Do my best. I've also been asked. I always tend to be long-winded, so I've asked to like shuffle, kind of try and keep it short. This is our beautiful school. This is kind of one of our just focuses that we talk about a lot. Every kid safe, every kid learning, every kid loved, and as long as we stay focused on that, that keeps us successful. She asked me to tug my ear, but she's not.
I have to
Here, open that.
There we go.
There it is.
We need the clicker. And so this is, and it's tough when you do these reports year after year, and then you have new members, and you want to keep it fresh, but you also want to make sure our returning or our new members are up to space on what we're doing. And so this is just kind of a quick 10,000-foot view of what we do at each grade level. Kindergarten, we start, it's really about social emotional is learning to be at school, learning to be a friend, learning to raise your hand, all that kind of stuff. And letters, numbers, foundations of reading. When you go down that hall, you have to turn your brain. Developmentally, those kids are still very egocentric and the world is about them. And so kindergarten is a beautiful place. Teresa does a great job of getting them ready, as do all of our preschools and stuff around. And then we can go ahead and enroll if you want, Kim. As it grows, we get to our 4th grade there and developing time management on their social emotional. We're trying to prep them and get them ready for Aaron and Michelle over there. Organization, independent learning, collaboration, communication. Right now our 4th graders are gearing up for their Hall of Fame presentations. So if you haven't been, I'll let you can, and we can send out. It's a really fun opportunity to come walk around in our building. Each of the kids represents a historical figure. It's kind of like a wax museum where they hit the button and they give you some facts on that person. They dress up as that person, and it's just prepping for those years to come. Specials, I want to highlight specials because my friend Chris came here. We kind of got hit by the sick today with some of our staff, and so more of them wanted to come. We made it work. We had doors open and that kind of stuff. But specials is, I really have grown to like the name specials because it gives kids an opportunity to shine where they maybe don't shine in other areas. Not every kid is good at math, not every kid is good at reading or writing or whatever, but specials gives them a place to where that kid that maybe doesn't fit other places gets a chance to shine. And so, thank you. So these are our grade level teams. As I am highlighting this, a lot of it being small town and us knowing each other, and just like Sam. I don't know if Sam remembers me, but I knew him. He was little, and it's just like it's great to see you like pulling out chairs for people. These are the kinds of things that we want to raise in our community, and something that's part of my announcements is just teaching them the value of please and thank yous. In this day and age, as we're all, we have our differences of opinions and that kind of stuff, but man, a please and thank you goes a long ways. On our kindergarten team, I'll just highlight a few things. We have 2 new members. Our first is the same crew as last year. Our second's the same crew as last year. Our third has 2 new members. Our fourth has 2 new members. Our special has 1 new member. Special ed has 1 new member. Our title and math intervention has 1 new member. ELL's the same. Our speech OT's the same. And our paraprofessionals have 3 new members on that crew. Office team, pretty consistent. We've all been there for a while. Kelly Gary's our secretary. She, with Emily jumping over to admin. Kelly Gary's been in and she's wonderful, and she helped me put this together. And she's just, we have it with Emily and we have it with Kelly too. Those kind where they've got some time and some bandwidth and just that creative abilities to where you can hand some things off to them. Custodial is always a moving target. I'd like to especially highlight Sean Gary and Josh Gilbert because, like, you know, they're kind of our unsung heroes of our buildings. You know, what they do for kids and just making our buildings and keeping things, you know, as we have sick going around and all that kind of stuff. And when you get you know, I hear them do we have a wet cleanup in the nurse's office at 2 o'clock, and I hear them doing that phone call to our custodians, and they don't, you know, I can just feel them on the other end of the line, like, but they do it. Our kitchen staff, Bobby Newell down there at the bottom is our kitchen manager this year. She's a fantastic human being and just loves and cares and knows about all the kids. We've had some folks move around. Lisa and Zavi are both new to our staff. Lisa's had kids go through our school district. Her son has graduated. He's successful. So it's just that community thing. Lunch and recess crew and paraprofessional, they kind of wear a couple different hats on them. But over the years, just this year, by luck, we have 3 fellas that are out there, and it's just interesting, and it's, you know, if I look at our data and we analyze our behavior data as part of our positive behavior systems and those meetings and stuff, the number one issues happens at unstructured times. That shouldn't be a shock to everybody. And recess is one of those. And then, you know, as Teresa highlighted in her report last week, play is so important. So much is learned through play. And so, you know, those guys getting out there and actually working with the kids on how to play football. We have a new Gaga pit this year that LPA helped bring in. And it's really cool, but it requires a lot of management. Aaron's laughing over there because he probably hears about it at night. It does cause conflict, and how do you manage that? And so Dean Lang, she's at home because she's taking care of her daughter, but she just working with our recess staff and little adjustments, you know. Some of our 4th grade, we said, okay, we got to take a step back and we got to look at your class can be in the Gaga pit on the day you have PE and some of those sorts of things. With so much new, you know, one thing that we just hit is we get so busy and we go, and us connecting as a staff is important. And so at our last staff meeting, you know, as Ms. Kelly Hamilton, our counselor, and Dean Lang and myself were discussing, we're like, man, we need to kind of come together. And then Ms. Lang had this map idea, which was really cool because it just lets us see who we are. So over here's our Colorado map, and we got the U.S., and then we got our international, and where you were born, where you went to school, and coolest place you've ever been. And this especially is a really cool thing. This is Salida right here. And so just the number of staff that are from Salida, I highlighted that a little bit last year, but the number of natives, and so over here you can see some of our staffs, number of staff internationally born and raised in the Salida vicinity is 10, 21 for Colorado natives, which is a cool thing. It kind of builds that community school. We took it, because our staff meeting is our teachers, but then we put it up into our workroom, and our paras and our lunch staff are all, we've got our stickers out there and they're wanting to add because, you know, it's all of us working together. So on that, with all the new staff, we one of my goals for the year was just like creating systems. I'm a systems guy, David. Sometimes he's like, you're a systems guy. New hire packet, identification of mentor and induction, ASAP access to the classroom. And so that's a big one for anybody who's been a new teacher is you're coming into a community and the first thing they want to do is get into their classroom, get their keys, get their computer, start diving into the curriculum if they're worth their grain of salt. And so that was me over the summer, and you know, thanks to my staff for my existing staff for saying, hey, yeah, come on out, let's go have a coffee and let's discuss, let's get into the curriculum, let's look at this sort of stuff. And so just that team mentality has been really great. I'll touch more on that new hire packet. And then prioritizing new staff members for initial observations. That's been done. And we're getting we're getting our middle of the year dibbles, and right now we're in our NBA assessment. And so just kind of doing that quick course over on assessment. Doing a good job. We're doing a really good job, so I'm proud of them. Multi-tiered systems of support. Implementing class-based interventions before bringing up students to the MTSS team. I can go into MTSS, I won't go too deep into it, but this is one, and as leaders you gotta be willing to admit, like, oh, I pushed too hard on this one, and that kind of stuff. And this was one I leaned into. Staff is doing great. It's just, you know, education is one of those things, like it or not, it changes a constant. And so this was one, you know, and it's having varying levels of success. Some teams are really good at it. The schedule's a tough one, all these sorts of things. Go ahead and hit it. Okay, so I have that, what the new need to know. This is an example of Kelly Gary. I was like, hey, I've got this harebrained idea. I've already developed this document. Can we start putting it into a handbook? And so then she started putting that all into a handbook. Here's just some examples of the things that have gone into it. This is a 10,000 foot view. You know, even talking to David, a good idea, you know, there's a district staff handbook, and ours needs to tuck in underneath. We don't want ever to have confusion on that, because the district level handbook, I probably won't say it right, but it feels like there's some legal ramifications around that we want to make sure that we're honoring as far as HR. And this is just more of the nuts and bolts how-to. You think of a new teacher, for a classroom teacher, for example, they're learning 5 new curriculums, and you do your social, emotional, literacy, math, social studies, science, so they're doing those. And then we've got our student database system, Infinite Campus. Then we have our leave and HR system, Time Clock Plus. And those are just systems that they have to become familiar with. And that's not the fact that when you go on a field trip, you gotta bring your roster down to Miss Betty. And it's also nice to have another roster for the bus drivers. And those sorts of things are just, it's drinking from a fire hose. So I'm proud of those people, they're doing a good job, and I'm really proud of the veteran staff for wrapping around these people and showing them some love. So one of our big things, school-wide behavior. You see your girl, their service, is our roar. So this one over here is our Paw Pride. That's one that I kind of adopted, and we tweaked it so it fit into our roar. So when a kid gets a Paw Pride award, it was an acknowledgement for above and beyond. And we just put in there, what is it? Were they showing respect, ownership, always safe, responsible? So that part. And if you click on the link, this is some of our students explaining.
Hi, we are 4th graders here at Salida Elementary. By now you've all learned that the core expectations the whole school follows. We learn how to remember the activities you expect. So, show ownership, be always safe, and show responsibility. If an adult sees you following these expectations, you might earn a purple ticket. Purple tickets go in your class's pouch, usually right outside of your classroom door. At the end of each week, count up how many tickets are earned. So on Thursday, Mr. Shuffle announces the class that earned most purple tickets. You may have noticed that this year there is a big thermometer next to our board. Every week, we will color the thermometer to show how many tickets the whole school has earned. Our whole school will work together to earn 5,000 tickets before the first trimester is over. If we reach our goal, the whole school will earn a special movie party in the gym. So get out there and earn those tickets. We are the Mountain Lions, here at Roar!
So that's our system, that's our school-wide positive behavior system. There's a lot of research around it on teaching the expectations that you want to see as opposed to reacting to misbehaviors. And I always make the analogy of my dad teaching me to change a tire and basically throwing the jack and the wrench at me and saying, go for it, and then cussing at me every time I did something wrong, like, you're gonna kill yourself if you put the jack there, and that kind of stuff. And so this is more like, okay, here's a jack, let's talk about how the jack works, let's do that kind of stuff. Down here in the yellow is a new program, or I guess it's kind of a returning program, Chris. It was in existence years ago. Ms. Schmeckel came up, she's like, I think we need to bring peer mediators back, and so it's a leadership opportunity for some of our 4th graders. They are out at recess for kindergarten and 3rd, if I remember correctly, and it's just fun. They are working through problems with kids. Chris is keeping some data on that, how many problems they're working with on kids, how's that look, how's it feel. It gives them a sense of pride. We're kind of wrapping up our session here, in a few short days, and then we're going to have another crop coming through. It gives them those leadership opportunities. And we've done this on so many different levels, where if we have a kid who is a handful in the classroom for whatever reason, it is amazing when you put them with younger kids how they turn into a role model. And so we're just always kind of playing that back and forth. And this is some of our staff, on what makes Longfellow so special. Right there is Miss Bobby. She's our kitchen manager. It's the food, it's the kid, it's the people. Maggie is one, and we kind of tried to mix some old and new. She is our ELL teacher, people, staff, kids, and parents. And then on far right over there is Hayden Snyder. He was one of our Alpine Achievers members who came in and came as a paraprofessional. Staff really connected, cares about their job, best intention for the kids. And so you'll see in there, everyone said staff, people, kids. Community partners, we have a ton. Everybody reaches out. This is just a laundry list, and there is somebody that's forgotten on there, and if you're listening in internet land, I am sorry. We try and quantify everybody. Our fire department came out and had a session with our kindergartners this year. That next one over, you see one of our officers, and she is working on our bike rodeo day. That's something that Sean Gillis organized years ago, that just puts a helmet on every kid and works to teach them that. And that is a multi-agency one. We've got right there Maytal, and she's with Guidestone. She does stuff with our classrooms. The kids go out to the garden. And I believe that one, if I remember correctly, is one of our Rotaries, and Rotary comes out every year and they do a book give. It used to be a dictionary, and then we kind of started feeling like that's a little dated, but kids really want chapter books, and so they made that shift with us. And so tons of community organizations. I mean, I could go on and on about each one of these. LPA is one that I just need to say is incredible year in and year out. From our Gaga pit, we're going to get a funnel ball that we've had that we're just waiting to get put in, and they just do so much for our school. And this is the questions time. Hit it. Come on, Jody.
Well, I've done them. I'm just trying to.
Okay, yeah.
What's a funnel ball?
Okay, I'll be a little on PC here, but one of our other teachers, the kids at our old school called it "Don't Drop the Baby," and it is this funnel, and it's got 3 chutes. And so the kids shoot a ball up into it, and then it comes out one of those chutes. And the goal of the game is to catch it so it doesn't hit the ball, and then you shoot it in.
Cool.
I know.
Actually, Corey, yeah, I do have a comment. I should have brought it, because before I came to the meeting, apparently Garduno handed one of my drivers an envelope.
Okay.
From Luca, from Miss G's class.
Okay.
Saw the Santa hat, thinks I'm really connected to Santa. In this letter, he said, Miss Evelyn, please, I don't like the bus seats, they're too hard. We need comfortable seats in the buses with a PS4.
And that's
He
it's a
said
great
please.
example. That's part of the beauty of elementary school, and for my high schoolers, yes, you still will get acne and cold sores into your adulthood, and an elementary kid will point it out every single time. What is that red thing on your face? Why do you have that? Like my little moles in the back. What are those? Why do you have those? And so it's raw.
Well, you need to get
If you
a
don't go
program
accountant, be an
going because
elementary
he,
school teacher.
you gotta get a program going because he said he was gonna help build it, him and his class.
I love it. I love it.
Anyone?
Enrollment.
332. No, 432.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
wrong number. 432. I think that is. I was at 431. We added one. I think it's just been one since then. We're kind of on that slow creep. It perks up, perks down, perks up, perks down.
Because for a while I felt like it was every board report was like we're cramped on space, we're cramped on space.
That was my first year, yeah, and we were at that point. We were hitting 460s, and you know, the conversations you guys aren't a part of is David and David saying, okay, our biggest limiting factor is the cafeteria, and we were like, we're getting close, and now some of that breathing rooms happen. So, but you know, still, it's just tough with the best grant. And Courtney, you'll find this. Courtney and I usually connect. I don't know, after school ends, and I really appreciate all that they do over at Montessori, and they have the same message as families sometimes cross in between. Like, yeah, Montessori has expectations too, and she has the same. Longfellow has expectations too, but yeah. So.
Couple things, Corey. Yesterday I was walking by Longfellow, and it was recess.
Yeah.
I believe it was Hayden, but that was out there.
Yeah.
As the monitor, I think, just from the picture that was on your report. But he was the Pied Piper. It was just like the Charlie Brown illustration of chaos. It was around him, and he was just drinking it in. It was just beautiful to see.
Yeah.
And I also really thank you because at the beginning of the school year, you know, we were worried about all the new staff at Longfellow. It had been stable. You know, you guys were in the top 1% of grade schools in the state. All this kind of epic Longfellow love, and it looks seamless from a board perspective. But I know you put a lot of emphasis on how to bring them in the fold, and I can't be more appreciative.
I take a little credit of that, but like really, it's the veteran staff. You know, being a part of a team, and that's one of the strengths of Longfellow's teams. And so, you know, you guys, you know, you have the PLCs and those kinds of things. What you don't hear is that most teams are eating together or running into each other's rooms during lunch, during that time that's not the contracted time. And we truly love and care about each other, and are looking out for each other.
Absolutely, start to love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Anything else? Any questions from high school Spartans?
I've got just a few things just for campuses. I don't know if there's anything from the others, but I wanted to make sure Jeremy had a chance to introduce himself. He's our interim athletic activities director. So Jeremy, why don't you have a chance to stand and say hi and introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I think most of you probably read my resume or seen an article in the paper, so I won't go into all that. I just kind of want to let you know I don't have to work. I'm retired. I live comfortably on my retirement. I only do things that I'm extremely passionate about, and I've always been passionate about helping develop young people. So I thought I was going to take some time off and just hike, which is my other passion. But this opportunity presented itself at a school district that I've always been very impressed with, and in a community that I spend a lot of time in that I really enjoy. So I jumped on it. And so, just so you know, I'm extremely passionate about it. I'm drinking through a fire hose right now, learning everything, but extremely excited to be here. Excited to work with all these young people and help develop programs we have here. So thank you for the opportunity.
Jeremy, would you say your last name 3 times for me?
Greer.
Greer.
But I'll respond to Grier all day long because I have to deal with it most of my life. So.
Okay, and then next on the course, David's district. Yeah. Oh yeah, you guys read it.
Thank you so much.
that you were concerned.
Okay.
Get out of here,
Sam, February, we're doing DI, so all the Smarties are gonna come.
I was in the DI program and it was amazing.
Sam, we're gonna have to come back in January too.
January
Say,
Okay, coach. Yeah, I'm excited to
there's a
start.
folder right there. You'll
Oh,
be all
this
like,
is, yeah, oh.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Finley's, that was Finn's.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
I'll just real quick, like Aaron's got a lot, he's already gone through the budget, so we'll just start. Was there any additional questions you wanted Aaron and his team to go through?
I would just say too, thanks to Tom for coming. You're supposed to come last month, had some stuff come up, but they're great to work with them. It was the 4th year we've worked with them, and they've been great every year. So, and I was, it's a stressful week when they come in, especially this year. I think David was like, the 2 weeks leading up to, he's like, I don't think you're quite normal right now, Aaron. And I was like, I'll be fine, just give me some time. But it was a good experience. But I can answer any questions about that.
I just want to pass on one of the lead auditors who's on site. When they got done with the end of the week, she said it was the easiest audit they've ever done. They're farther ahead than any audit they've ever done. It was that clean and neat. It wasn't just kind of in order. It was the most in order they've been able to do, not just this year, but any time. So I wanted to do that.
Tell people that.
It's an unusual thing, but as a superintendent, I think it's important I check all of our cash every month. So they have to do, they have to look at what our books say have and then what the banks say we have. I actually checked through every one of those, all those millions of dollars. And this was the first month ever in years where I came down to Aaron and was like, I actually understand every single number and every comma is in place and every thing is there. That's the first time ever. So things are in good shape that way.
Good job, Aaron.
Good job.
Super uncomfortable.
let's give him another hand.
Savannah, you
And
had
then
something?
Savannah, you turned it really important.
Oh, sorry.
I think it's really important you guys are tracking that. We can talk more about CASB because that's about our main mission. Academics really starting to understand. I want to get you back into the WHHW and pointing at that poster. That's something at CASB. I want you to get better at that. I think we're in good shape. We get to choose what we want to be great at as a district. And so she'll be in February kind of talking about that. But I don't know if there's anything specific, Savannah, you want to add or anybody else?
I just was very impressed that your May deadlines are all gonna be accomplished by February.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's very smart work.
Right.
Very, very pleased. Not just that, but we were thinking just the first W, what do you teach, would be done by May. And we're actually gonna have the first two aspects, which is really a true guarantee about the curriculum. Which is the assessment. If you've done education for a long time, to have all the assessments in place will be, if we can pull it off, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna open us up to do the professional development we all would like to do for our staff. So super, super happy about that.
Yeah, and like I said, you and April, I didn't have a lot of faith in you, in anybody being able to work with all the personalities, all the levels, all the curriculum, all the technology. I was like, no one can do that. Her and April are pulling up so good. Yeah.
Round of applause for Savannah.
I want to deal with a few other things. I'll be able to talk to you. It's not public yet. We're still trying to get through drafts, but the initial drafts of our newest enrollment studies in. Trying to understand that space, which is super critical. We learned in the work session about how budgeting goes. We will continue to see a 1%-ish increase in our community. I don't think that's going to change. This year, that 1% all went over there to Courtney's house, and so but the community is of its own is still growing, and so that will still continue to pressurize our system, but in a positive way. I think we've got good plans in place. So I just wanted to let you know that that's kind of there, and we can talk more as I get the details. We're looking at the ins and the outs, trying to figure out who's going to online. One of the online schools in the state is considered a BOCES, which is not, I wouldn't even call legal. Trying to fight that legally. They're trying to co-opt that name to draw in students. Their performance is miserable, and I don't want to sit and show the community how other people aren't doing well, but that might be something. We're losing a few of our high schoolers there, not like we see in places like Summit, where they're seeing 150, 200 students losing to these things. We're seeing 5, 6, 7, more in that range. We'll call 10 to keep it easy, but a lot of work going into that, so you guys will have good
predictive qualities, so.
I mean, I did notice at the CASB conference that there were a couple of
Yes.
sessions on how to start a strong online enrollment program.
For your district.
Is that because that's kind of a state trend? That a
It's
lot of
because
districts are
these
going to-
online pariahs, I don't have a single good word I can say about them ethically. I think they're illegal, I think they're unethical, immoral, I think they're robbing, if you wanna do your own thing, do your own thing, stop stealing taxpayer dollars, and tanking kids. Their results are horrendous. But, that being said, it's part of the way the system's run. We have had an online school, we started one during COVID, but it was not yielding good results for our kids. So I would not support that space unless we're gonna go bankrupt. I just think we proved it again. We had Longfellow, he didn't bring it up. If you look like the 4th grade scores as you're exiting that building, that is the best option you can make in the state of Colorado. You cannot go a different place, a different space is the best. So, things to be
Right,
proud of.
and if our kids do want an alternative high school or an alternative middle school, we have great options. Right. Horizons and Crest.
So, sorry, I got passionate about that. The answer is, we're not seeing too much of it, but we're tracking it. Your school districts like Summit, Jeffco, they are being, it is a significant factor that's driving all of their decisions to figure out how to deal with that competitive space.
Yeah, I was surprised to see it on there multiple times.
Discouraged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David, I would also say we researched a little bit more last year too, and Durango actually cut their program because they were actually losing money. Like the amount they were bringing in wasn't feasible, and they lost a ton of students on their overall count. But they cut the program entirely because they felt it was financially not worth it to do it. So I don't know. I think if we're going to look into that, we'd want to dive deep into why other districts have gone that route. There's districts that are in a lot of question marks right now on their finances. So.
So it's a great thing, you're welcome to look into it, but I would just say COVID was the great experiment for decades. We're like, oh, technology is gonna make this happen. And then we ran COVID and everyone went down to their dining room tables and it was not a win. It was not successful for kids or communities. Jesse?
I was just gonna say, financially it's not good, but it's not good for kids, right? I don't have the data, but just anecdotally, often our kids that are struggling or challenged at the high school, in a traditional high school, and go to an online program, fail miserably, right? And then they come back to us after a semester or two in online school in a worse spot before they left, because now they're credit deficient. They don't have the supports that they have in our high school with tier 1, tier 2 instruction, and staff that support them every single day when they go online. I've been down the road of an online school within the district, and it's not good for kids.
So, good question.
Trigger point.
Well, I mean, it's not something I was excited about, but I was just surprised to see that it's clearly a thing happening in the state of Colorado.
It is.
Well, yeah, and the other thing is too, if you're a school district, right, and you're losing kids to outside online programs, it makes perfect sense to be like, we need to create our own online program, right? And
But if it's not best for kids.
but it's not best for kids.
Well, they're
right?
losing out on the social and emotional development that they get in school.
On that note, I do want to note, the principals made me aware, I guess there was a little bit of chatter on some Facebook stuff around Healthy Kids Colorado survey. That data did go, or that test assessment did go. So I just want to make sure comment would do it. It's the only data piece that we have of a preventative side to say how are the human beings doing in our space. Obviously, we're highly responsible for any bullying, any negative things, despair, substance abuse, particularly in a community. It's important to know that in our community, kids are exposed at a higher rate to drugs and alcohol and substance use than anywhere else in Colorado, or than the state norm, I guess is a better way to say that, state average. And we see higher usages of substances in that sense. So while we're wildly successful, these are important things. And of course, if we would, like a lot of people, it's because it's scariest, things like active shooter, but most likely we're at graveside because of substance use and a rollover accident. We've had 2 rollover accidents impacting kind of our student body this year. No one's passed away that was a student of ours, so was a student connected. This is our number 1 concern, is the keys, the car keys. It's the most likely place that we end up graveside or in a hospital. Second place is despair. And when we mix substance with either one of those, it accentuates those things. And so I just want to make sure we always name those. And so this is that space. I know not everybody agrees with it. We did have our psychologist, lead psychologist, went through the survey this year and pulled out any test or rewrote test questions. Those tend to be the test questions that make a lot of other people uncomfortable. And so she went through and tried to find ways to pull out the ones that may have a negative perception or might be unnecessary, or there's different things. So we had her curate that space, but it is the only thing. It's also the number 1 piece of data we have that brings in outside grants. There's nothing more important data-wise for us to access exterior money and bring it in to support whatever program we want for our community, and that Healthy Kids Colorado survey data. We are doing the Smart Source. It's all run by the Anschutz Foundation, which is important to me. That's run by just a high reputation, highly regarded, in other words, organization. Smart Source is an addition. That's more the wellness side. So think questions nurses might have, questions nutritionists might have, because part of our priorities this year is to rework our wellness policies, which is going to be around those. And so I wanted some more data that the counselors recommended to try and see if that helps us get right in policies or anything else that's really going on for kids. I just wanted to name that. I guess there was some chatter about that, so I want to make sure people were aware of it. And obviously anybody can always come and talk to me when we talk through it. It's one of those opt-outs. You don't have to take it all. There's no requirement. It's the only thing we have to figure out if our kids are okay or not. DI I already mentioned, so February we'll have that ready, but I already mentioned Sam was there. He went to Globals a long time ago. My family's team. And then I just want to say thanks to Matt. On so many levels, you came at a really tough time in our district. Things that you helped me understand our need for new lawyers. I don't think we would have made those shifts and those changes, and we needed to. You helped me navigate that. I learned a couple things that I didn't know. And then a couple other times where I was elevated and I was able to go, Matt, I need you to be the stable one. And so you helped all of us in those instances, and I appreciate learning, stability. It's a loss for us. Just to let the board know the way the policy works, so if it's December 31st is the end, and the January board meeting, we'll post it, right? We'll take an action to post that vacancy. And normally we have, here's what we want for people who are interested, which is normally like an essay of why do you want to do this. And then the February board meeting, a work session, we'll be having whoever submits a letter, then you'll be able to talk to them and who wants to take action. And it can be awkward because you have 10 people interested. You have to publicly choose on somebody and vote. And
at the February meeting?
The February board meeting, we'll check with lawyers and make sure that that's what I would expect. January then is announced. So January you would post the vacancy. 30 days later, it has to be open for 30 days. You would then select other people who are interested. So that's that. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. And that's all I had. Was there anything else? Other reports come around. Anything else you guys needed to check into or questions you might have?
Okay, this ends the more entertaining part of our board meeting. Principals are excused. Mr. Greer, you're also, you're welcome to stay. Everybody's welcome to stay. Okay. And yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
5-minute break for board members.
Yeah, take it.
Well, Michelle,
No, I
Thank you. The librarians. see you
I
later.
said when you said you were the librarian
Yeah.
at the middle school, I was like, oh,
Ben, did you see your
Have you
assignment
read
in
it?
the papers?
No, it's on my
Bye,
list.
Jess.
It's on my ever growing
It's kind of your
list.
typical murder
Did you
mystery.
see your
It involves
assignment in the paper?
Are you actually?
We love I love library themed things.
Did you see your
Yeah,
kid's
the
paper?
mommy where she's like, I'm a proud librarian.
You're a
That was
child.
Hi,
inspirational.
child. Is this the paper?
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you.
Newspaper, child.
When you tell me
Okay.
it's a two thing. Ready?
We're so ready.
We are live again.
All right, just gonna crank out a few things. I would like to have a motion. Wait a second.
Hold on a second.
Here, wait, there we go. Here we go. I turned too soon. So, consent agenda. May I please have a motion to approve the following consent agenda items that you see on your
Subject.
Jen, thank you.
I'll second.
And thank you, Mandy, for a second. Is there any discussion or area of concern?
I mean, the only thing I was gonna say is that with the calendar, it still says a 2-day Thanksgiving week, and so we're gonna update that for next month, because now we have a 4-day Thanksgiving.
Okay. And then because we copied Weld County School District,
That's
that's all taken care of now. Yep, I was just saying that it was taken care of, and thanking you for it. Okay, I think we can, go ahead.
Can I, on J, my understanding was they weren't asking for funding, they were just asking for approval.
That is correct.
Yes.
For them to travel outside of state, they need your approval.
Right, okay.
Yes,
I think it's a great idea when we go. I think it sounds fun.
they grow a lot there, actually. Yeah.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is actually the last Gathering of Nations powwow ever.
Oh, it is?
That's
Wow.
She didn't have an answer for that. We'll
Some
have our
of us
kids
have
get
gotten
together.
to go see their presentations after they attend that. It's fabulous.
So this is the last one possibly ever.
Oh, I wanna go.
Which is-
Yeah.
so,
Thanks for
Ready for a vote? Dr. Breckenridge-Pettit?
Aye.
Dr. Hill?
Aye.
Mr. Hobbs?
Aye.
Mrs. Lumber?
Aye.
Mrs. Pascal? Aye. Dr. Rhodes? Aye. And Ms. Schiffman? Aye.
Okay, next we have action items, and I need a motion to approve the following policies on their second reading. So let's first go through the CASB updates. Do I do them lowercase I and lowercase I?
I've set them all up as just one approval
One
for
bundle.
second reading, unless you guys want to vote differently.
Okay, so we just do I first, and then we put purchasing on its own approval, and need your guidance on
correct.
that. Yes? You separate them?
You can do it either way. However somebody wants to make the motion, they can say I would like to approve all, or they can say I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Let's try all. May I have a motion to approve both the CASB policies and the purchasing and bidding procedure?
I'll make that motion.
A second. Thank you, Mandy, and then Karen. Any discussion on that? Think we can have a vote?
Good, all right. Dr. Breckenridge-Pettit?
Aye.
Dr. Hill?
Aye.
Mr. Hobbs?
Sorry. Aye.
Mrs. Lumber?
Aye.
Mrs. Pascal?
Aye.
Dr. Rhodes? Aye. And Ms. Schiffman? Aye.
Excellent. Next, we're gonna have a motion. May I have a motion to accept the 24-25 excellent audit as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, Jen. Second?
Second.
Oh, thanks, Matt. Anybody want to discuss that? In more detail? Okay, no? All right, I think we can vote.
Scroll down my little vote section here. Dr. Breckenridge-Pettit?
Aye.
Dr. Hill?
Aye.
Mr. Hobbs?
Aye.
Mrs. Lumber?
Aye.
Mrs. Pascal?
Aye.
Dr. Rhodes? Aye. And Ms. Schiffman? Aye.
And I'd like to explain to any audience members out there in YouTube land and to you that we had a work session and we talked about this in great detail. It's not just wave peaks, we went into the troughs as well. So may I have a motion to certify the mills as presented?
So moved.
Okay, Ben, second? Karen?
Second.
Yeah, okay, Ben and Karen, thank you. Any discussion on the mills?
I think the only thing I'd say, because I sent a video to you all, so you have that, but just so that it's public. You can look at the mills as we get there. We have to increase our mills by 1 every year for the next 5 years. That's a mandatory thing by the government. That was voted in 3 years ago, I think it was.
5.
Was it 5 years ago?
And it wasn't voted in.
It was. They were told. Yeah, we were told that we had to do it. That's correct. But it has to be done. But at the same time, because of the changes in our property valuations, even though we increased that mill, the way the rest of the formula works out, we're actually only increasing our total mills by about 0.3, which is exciting, I think, for the local community because we're generating more revenue. The downside is we're generating a higher percentage of our revenue locally, and so we will see a smaller state share, which will continue to potentially impact cash flow going forward. So, Dr. Rhodes, this is new to you, but whatever that we don't generate locally, the state backfills, and that's usually done over the first 9 months, and then all of the property taxes come at the end. We're to a point now where roughly 80% of our revenue is coming in at the end of the year. So we're kind of using our own cash that we built through the COP process for last year as our cash flow. If that ever goes to a point where we don't have that cash, we may have to look at a 0% cash flow loan that the government, that the state government offers. We're not there yet. I'm not concerned, but we are seeing a change in the percentage again.
And Tiffany, we actually did that one time, I think.
We did it 2 years ago. Yeah.
One time, 2 years ago, and it is work, but they're proficient at it in the business office.
Yeah, if we need to, it can be done. The only concern is a lot more districts are having to do it, so I don't know how long that money's going to be there. But right now, they're still operating. So that was the other big piece of that, and then I think there was a piece last year that we talked about, and it's probably everyone's forgotten because it's been a year, but where on the bottom of it, it says total program funding is 31 point, I don't have the exact number in front of me, but something mills. Last year, we certified 29 mills, and that number was 28. What that means is for us to be fully funded locally, just the total program piece would have to be 31 mills levied on our local citizens. This year, we're at 29, but that includes our bond. So we're actually off by about 8 mills, so that's the difference between the state share and our local share. But last year, we actually were saying we were doing 29, and then on the thing it said, well, to be fully funded, you only have to do 28 mills, and that was really confusing locally. None of you will have to answer that question this year because the total program mills went up. So you won't have to answer that question, which maybe doesn't affect you, but don't worry about the question.
Right. You can dodge it in the baking out.
Yes.
Okay. So Tiffany, just for a little bit of historical context, 6 years ago, the state was trying to get more money, as it should be, from local property tax. The state couldn't fund all the other things they're funding and so much education in their mind. So we had, correct me if I'm wrong, the highest mills increase. So it was the largest tax increase that anybody who lives in the Salida School District has ever had. And we never voted on it. So it's 10 mills. As you're listening to Aaron, you know that we only have 28 altogether right now. So we're only halfway through that. So there's still going to be 5 more years of a 1 mil increase that the state put around our necks as citizens and as a school board. So it's really tricky, and it does impact our fixed income folks. It's a lot of, and then when you increase the property value and you're increasing a mill, you'll start to see it on your
double its people.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, we're halfway through though, and we're still standing.
That's right.
Okay, so that's the end of the discussion, I think. Let's go ahead and have a vote.
All right, Dr. Breckenridge-Pettit.
Aye.
Dr. Hill.
Aye.
Mr. Helps.
Aye.
Mrs. Lumber.
Aye.
Mrs. Haskell. Aye. Dr. Rhodes.
Aye.
And Mrs. Schmidt.
Excellent. Okay, we're just down to the board communications and committee reports. And really the only action item we can take is, we're gonna arm wrestle about positions and ideas at CASB, but also at our January retreat grind. But the only change would be Mandy, your excellent service as our BOCES representative is coming to a close, so thank you for that. Thank you. And I think Tiffany is interested in maybe taking on that role.
I have heard that it is a great place for me to learn, so sure.
It is, yeah. Absolutely. And so then, thank you for being willing to do that. Well, I'm willing, but also it is a great resource, and it really helps explain how we get some economies of scale for our special needs, our different needs, our non-typical peers.
Yeah, I mean, we could get together, Tiffany, and we can kind of go through the run. It's not really too complicated or confusing, but it is another word packet for you to read. And then the meetings are Thursday not every month, is it like 6 a year, maybe?
No, 5 or 6.
5 or 6 a year, so you'll skip a couple months in there, so,
Okay.
does that work?
Yep, I can do it. Excellent. Thanks for what you've done, and if anybody else is fired up or passionate about something, chew on those ideas and we'll talk about it at our retreat grind. Okay. Turning the page, future business, the CASB conference. Is everybody tracking all of that? There is an app for that, and it took me a while, and Mandy held my hand and I got through, called WOVA, W-H-O-V-A.
But is that different than the QR code they sent us to check in?
That's your name tag.
That's your name
And I couldn't get it printed, so I'm just gonna go there.
Yeah.
Okay. I know, okay, and so.
Just like kind of CASB and committee reports, I do need
So,
to
sure.
share you planning on attending the delegate piece for CASB.
Unless we have something planned.
Okay, I will check on that. I
I think
just have
that's
to make sure I register
more
as
important.
such.
Oh, yeah.
Someone else is like really interested in going, but that was my assumption, but I wanted to confirm
It's a
before
tough
I
sell.
registered you on that.
For 8?
Just for the delegate conference.
No, we're District 8.
Correct, yes.
Yes.
So
Not
there's
eight.
our,
No, I mean the overall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
but I will
Thank you
double
for,
check the schedule.
are you willing to do that, unless there's something big that we're doing?
Let's see what we're doing.
Correct.
Okay.
I've got the flight. The most efficient use of time.
Wait, okay. Do you wanna guide this herd of cats about what we do
For CASB?
for CASB, Madam Secretary?
So I think tomorrow I've done a lot of actually talked to the lady at the Broadmoor today because there's some herding that's happened. But they've been awesome. We've made a couple of changes. So I will have a couple of final things tomorrow so far as our schedule. Watch, I will send Google Calendar links if everyone's been, that seems to be working. So I'll refine that tomorrow a little bit. I think everyone, I've sent your hotel reservations to, let me know if you don't have those, you should be able to just check in. If you haven't seen them, it's probably been
to us?
like when I first.
A long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yes,
We
yes.
have to register so early.
And you got us in.
And yeah, we're all in, all the things should be good. If you have any questions though, when you get there, all the payment stuff should be set up. If you have any questions though, I have my phone, so don't hesitate to reach out. I will be trying to be down there tomorrow. And I won't be down until evening. Yes.
I don't
You
think
have to
I
go
have.
out. What would it be under?
I'm going Thursday.
Yeah, it's hard.
I don't know
So-
that I've sent you yours, cause I'll double check that.
No, I will probably, it should all be set up for you, you should just be able to check in.
Okay.
That's all you should need, and I'll be behind on the credit card to make sure everything's taken care of. But if there's a problem, we're one of the 2 people you should call, I'll try and get up there earlier and check on, make sure everything's in order
And
and
you
district
will-
credit cards on file for what we need
And
to
you
bring
will
to
still
this.
need a credit card for incidentals, so.
And you bring your QR code or your email on your phone and they'll make you the name tag.
Sorry,
I'm sure we're not the only one having issues.
I
with
could,
QR code, so.
some of you cooler.
Well, I don't think we're supposed to print anything. I think you're supposed to take the QR code and show them and they print it.
I think,
Yes, they do come from it.
That's, yeah.
But
But
they
it
said,
comes
no,
out
they
this
said
way.
print the email. They said print the
And I
email
did.
of the
Yeah.
QR code,
Okay.
which is really dumb, because
What?
if you send a QR
It's a
code,
silly, yeah.
that's why you're just bringing your phone, and not
Yeah,
printing
yeah.
the QR stuff.
So we all just have to be aware, we just have to be aware that there's a couple of times where we're gonna pull out of all sessions and do some grinding.
And I will send
And
those
those
updates
are
via
all-
Google Calendar.
Those are all gonna go.
All the
Well,
files.
and did people go through the sessions?
I'm not sure I know how to get on Google Calendar.
Okay, cause I didn't find anything super inspiring.
Okay.
Um,
So, but you might not have, you might not get to go to some inspired things, Andy.
Last year was just, it's great. There were some great sessions.
It was great.
I mean,
Okay.
I will say all of the beginner board member
Yeah.
policy and stuff is
So
really
good,
good,
yeah.
so you'll
Yeah.
unfortunately probably be set, but going by yourself, which
You
isn't.
won't go by yourself.
David's.
Oh, David.
And I also get to be, your battle buddy too.
Okay, good.
Yes, we won't be.
Yeah, we.
Yeah, I don't know if I wanna go to it.
I did mark, I've gone in the app, and I did mark all those little beginner sessions
Yeah.
in my app.
They're very helpful.
Those are, I mean, they are,
works.
they are
Super
super
helpful.
helpful.
It's a lot of water pressure
If you
in
go
that
to
fire
any
hose.
of the finance
What'd you say in the acronym?
WOVA.
That's my name.
WHOVA.
You should have an email with that information. If not, Karen, let me know and I can forward it to you.
What you forwarded me? I don't remember.
But somebody probably just needs to tell me where I need to be for the first place, cause I'm not sure I haven't figured out how to get in a Google Calendar yet.
First thing when you get there, the first thing you need to be at will be for breakfast.
Okay.
And then we can.
And then you
Right,
can
that's
tell
kind
me
of
where
where
to
we
go
go
from there.
Yes.
And yeah, is
It's
everybody
hotel
floundering or?
Aaron and I can show you after this, or send
Okay.
you, any three of us can show you after this.
Show you.
Keep your
How to
computer.
get into Google
Oh,
Calendar.
that I can show you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I got in the share drive, I was
Yeah.
proud.
I thought he meant that. I thought he meant something at the hotel. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm happy to help.
All
Okay,
right.
so Mandy brought up a good point, plus I think we need to represent anyway, the Rural School Alliance breakfast. It's an important one, we're kind of a big.
It's the best Friday.
All right, can we, everyone get their calendar, so now we're doing, lowercase I, yeah, the January, affectionately named the retreat, but it's here, and it's a grind. So, the priority for David is January 30th, not only for policy, but just for the staff. Does Friday, January 30th. Works for me. I'm needing to ask our vet and our physician, are you guys okay with that?
I'm okay. What, the 30th of what?
Oh, January. Sorry, the January retreat is the 30th of January.
Just modifiers.
Right. Are you okay? And are you okay? Until, emergencies come up in both cases, so. Okay, so January retreat, what is it, does the 30th work for everyone? Okay, and, okay, so then it's the 30th. Okay, boy, and what kind of time would you like to start?
8 to 4 we'll put on. You'll probably, I'll talk to Jody and figure out if that's when you wanna do my evaluation, or if you wanna put that in the February board meeting, right? There's that choice to do either one. That's a big lift, so then Mandy, if she continues to help with that, that'll be something in the timeline there. But then obviously, we'll be focused on our priorities. And I think, do we wanna keep the same, or in the same trajectory, or people thinking differently? We've got kind of a new team. Some things will shift around. I think it's also an opportunity to talk about how do we wanna divide up the work, right? Matt's gonna step away, so what has he been doing? Who might fill in those shoes? We've already had change. Dr. Rhodes coming on, so just thinking through how do I want to divide up the work, facilities, finances, those kind of questions. Most things are in order, but I want to look at priorities and how you guys want to divide up the work, and then my evaluation will be 3 big topics. And then whatever else you guys bring to Jody, we'll try and put an agenda together.
So think about where you want to lead as a board member for that. Now, we've had some great offers to have that grind be somewhere else, but I think it's better for staff members to have it here, because you're not letting things go. Okay, so we'll just do it right here. And then our regular meeting in January is on the 13th. It's in the great room because we have the high schoolers come in and we have breakouts in small groups. Would anybody like to do agenda review with David and me? I know you can, but you don't have to. If somebody's fired, is anyone fired up to do it? Everybody's fired up. So would you do it? Okay, and we'll work around David's calendar.
Yep.
Okay. David and Kim's
Kim will
calendar.
be decided.
Jody, because you're here, I won't be here in January. Okay. Do you want to come? You just want to be absent, or would you like to attend remotely? Can I wait and see? Yep. 100%.
So we won't have Matt in January or Karen.
You're correct.
So everyone else must attend.
What's the quorum?
Quorum. The difference is you can't be changing the agenda.
Well, in that
The
case.
regular meeting, but that's the only piece when you don't have as many people. Those absences, we'll just have to be really careful about the agenda, but it's pretty well set. We've got
So we should not
CMC.
attend the January meeting, since we won't have Matt and Karen.
And actually, I'm looking, I won't be able to Zoom, I'll be on the road.
Unavailable, okay. But hey, way to look into it. That's no, it's no problem, we got it.
Have a grandbaby. I know, see, I won't have seen her for a month.
It's awesome. Okay, are there any other outstanding hanging chads or anything else? Sorry, okay, loose threads, missing mittens.
The only thing that I really quick, I forgot from my district report, is I will need to get with Ben, Jody, and Mandy in the next couple days and get some signatures so we can change bank signatures.
Did it not work?
No, I got signatures for that, but now I need to get some signatures because I have to take people off of our accounts and add you to the account. So the signatures are just to use your signature. Now you have to sign a bunch of
Now I
documents.
have to sign, and I know that I have
Yeah.
some things to sign for mills and audits.
Yeah, so just probably at the retreat, I'll get with you and there's just a couple documents you have to sign. It's, you know, your whole life away. Other than that, it's should be nothing.
Daily business, okay.
But the signatures were great. They worked.
Okay, they worked,
Yeah.
okay.
Now I need more.
So much, no trouble. All right, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Ben,
So moved.
Ben,
Come on now.
don't need a second.
We didn't even
Okay,
get the
time
words
is
out of the mouth.
7:51.
Well done, Madam President.
Yay!
Yay! Good job, guys.
Oh my gosh.
You did perfect.
The
All right,
whole
guys.
board member comments totally blew it off.
So we'll see everybody. Cosby, just keep a text thread going with everybody and.
So you left your,
Thank you for
this
this.
All
All the fun and exciting.